Hello everyone and welcome back to my Beyond the Gates 24 official YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Jacob arrested Dani at Vernon and Anita's house, though Vernon argued that the charges were unwarranted. Naomi was furious to learn Bill was behind it, having handed the videotape to the state attorney's office. Jacob, forced to follow orders, tried to be discreet, but Anita was outraged at him reading Dani her rights. Naomi demanded he not handcuff her mama, but Jacob progressed, egging Dani to joke that she had last used Bond while playing with Bill. Dani, charged with tried murder, was angry but cooperated. Naomi pledged to represent her and declared she'd no way forgive Jacob for siding with her father. At Uptown, Ted called someone named Kimberly, offering an exclusive about the Dupree arrest. Meanwhile, at the sanitarium, Ted awaited for Nicole, who was on the roof with Leslie, pretending to be suicidal. Leslie, using the alias Sherry, faked torture and reflected on Nicole's wealth. Nicole induced her to step down and led her inside. Latterly, Ted brazened Leslie, who revealed herself as someone from his history, seeking vengeance. She hovered to expose an affair and toyed with the idea of reserving a session with Nicole. Ted advised her to stay down. At the summer house, Doug was thrilled to adventure again, despite Randy prompting him to quit. Away, Eva and Andre met at a bar, where she congratulated his work and teased his pride. At the police station, Dani's family watched as she was reused. Bill arrived, shocking his daughters. Vernon claimed the charges wouldn't stick, but Bill argued that the viral videotape made it insolvable to bury. Haley brazened Bill, demanding he drop the charges, hanging to leave if he didn't. He conceded, and Dani, though freed, refused to thank him. Back home, Naomi reseated herself from Jacob, feeling betrayed. She made him sleep on the lounge. Meanwhile, Dani commended Anita, suspecting Bill's conduct were an attempt to win her back. At their house, Haley advised Bill to stop envenoming Dani and the Duprees, or she'd leave him for good. As Nicole's awards fate approached, the Dupree family prepared for media scrutiny, with Vernon and Anita handling tough questions about Dani's incarceration. Naomi remained furious at Jacob for arresting Dani, floundering with trust issues due to her father, Bill. Jacob claimed he'd only been doing his job, but Naomi was induced. Meanwhile, Bill, literacy of the Dupree's interview, offered his own press conference, painting Dani as mentally unstable. When journalists questioned Dani's history, Vernon and Anita veered, but Dani crashed the interview, staying composed and refuting Bill's claims. Subsequently, Dani prompted Naomi to forgive Jacob, calling him a good man. Naomi ultimately conformed with him, realizing he was nothing like Bill. Still, Jacob soon faced another challenge. His new mate, operative Marcel Malone, incontinently disaccorded with him, advising Jacob to keep his particular life in check. Away, Leslie advised Eva about her pursuit of information on her father, despite her own reckless conduct. Eva called out Leslie's insincerity, but Leslie claimed she had a plan. At the establishment, Tomas asked Bill for authorization to date Kat and was surprised when Bill didn't object. Latterly, Kat supported Chelsea's bisexuality but plotted with her polyamorous relationship. Tomas called Kat, and she invited him for regale after her business trip. By day's end, Vernon and Anita celebrated Dani's media palm, but with Bill obsessively tracking the news and Dani angrily dropping her phone into a gin and alcohol, it was clear their battle was far from over. Nicole and Eva grew closer, while Leslie decided to run a DNA test on Ted. Doug fell deeper into debt with Joey, and Vanessa kept her options open with Diego. Meanwhile, Derek faced a medical exigency, and Martin tried to stop Smitty from returning to work. Joey met with Randy, boasting about manipulating guests, particularly Doug, who had come a frequent bettor. Joey assured Randy he'd no reason to harm Doug, only to keep him coming back. At the summer house, Joey pushed Doug further into debt, offering him further plutocrat to play. Derek was rushed to the ER after an accident. Ashley comforted him that his memory loss was temporary and advised him to be conservative after his recovery. They continued to flirt as she stayed by his side. At the country club, Eva helped Nicole with her work, impressing her with her speechwriting chops. When Leslie called Eva, she prompted tolerance, but Leslie was determined to take down the Richardsons. Back home, Leslie indicted Eva of growing too close to Nicole. To prove her fidelity, Eva revealed she had stolen a straw from Ted for a DNA test. Leslie planned to defy him once they had results. Vanessa was drawn to Diego but remained distracted by Doug, who apologized for his once jest. Still, he latterly returned to the summer house, falling further into Joey's trap. Meanwhile, Diego brazened Vanessa about her flirting, but she claimed she'd see whoever she wanted. At home, Smitty expressed his desire to return to journalism, but Martin stressed for his safety. Their children didn't understand his resistance. Martin ultimately agreed to one assignment. That night, he awoke from agony, startling the family. Smitty comforted him they were safe before transferring the kiddies back to bed. Nicole entered the limelight at the forum as she was recognized with the Distinguished Service Award in Psychiatry. Still, the night wasn't without drama. Laura was absent due to a mega hit and run, and Mona was out sick, leaving Eva to step by and help. Despite her excitement about attending the event, Eva was caught off guard when her mama, Leslie, showed up in disguise as a garçon. Leslie spent further time defying Ted and sneaking exchanges with Nicole and Eva rather than doing her job. Her resentment toward Nicole was apparent as she visualized about being in her place. Meanwhile, Dani plotted to concentrate on her part as the host, detracted by Bill and Haley's honeymoon posts. Still, she managed to lead an awful festivity of Nicole's achievements. Away, Martin had a tense exchange with his forefather, Vernon, who was dissatisfied upon literacy of Martin's political intentions. Vernon advised Martin that his deep secret would be a major handicap, particularly as a black seeker. Martin latterly commended Smitty about none of this and indeed concealed a job occasion for him, formally again displaying his controlling tendencies. As the forum continued, Nicole entered sincere speeches from her family before accepting her award. Still, before Leslie could produce farther trouble, she was fired and attended out, thanks to Eva's report of her unprofessionalism. Easily, Eva enjoyed being part of the Dupree family and wanted to ensure Nicole's night remained special, indeed at her mama's expenditure. Latterly, Nicole and Ted expressed gratefulness to Carlton, Ted's co-worker, for covering an exigency surgery. The night ended with applause and festivity, despite the dramatic competitions that took place. Dani claimed that her business was hers alone and refused to bandy it with her family, stewing she'd enchant it. She assured them that her plans had nothing to do with Bill and Haley, whom she mockingly appertained to as the Shamiltons. When her family remained skeptical, she claimed she was meeting with a notorious developer about Chelsea's fashion show. Still, Nicole misdoubted Dani's capability to move on from Bill and Haley. Her reservations were justified because Dani was actually headed straight to their home. Carrying a mysterious package, she comforted their security guard George that it was simply a marriage present and not an armament. She claimed she only wanted a fresh launch and to leave them with commodity indelible. Despite his better judgment, George gave her the security law to enter the house. Meanwhile, Bill and Haley were in a limo, cutting their honeymoon short and intentionally heading straight home. Inside their house, Dani made herself comfortable. She opened a bottle of wine that Bill had given her during their marriage, a bottle she formerly hoped to save for their 50th anniversary. Rather, she decided to celebrate beforehand and drank it while sitting in their living room. She indeed used the bottle to shatter a framed print of Bill and Haley before reclining on their settee for a nap. Fully ignorant of Bill and Haley's impending appearance, she also didn't realize that George had informed Vernon and Anita about her whereabouts. The real question came who would reach her first, Bill and Haley or Vernon and Anita. Meanwhile, at the sanitarium, Ashley tended to Derek as he recovered from his concussion. Andre arrived and took filmland of Derek, apparently for a news composition about his recent deliverance. Ashley questioned whether she should move out of the shot, but Andre claimed she stay, making Derek suspicious. Latterly, a senior woman visited Derek to thank him for saving her cat from a fire, though Ashley was shocked that he'd risked his life under similar dangerous conditions. She suspected Commodity Deeper was bothering him. Meanwhile, at the Richardsons' house, Kat spent time with Bill's colleague Tomas. She made it clear that she despised her uncle, but Tomas defended Bill, revealing that he'd given his blessing for Tomas to pursue her. Their date went well despite Kat lying about cooking regale. Effects took an unanticipated turn when Tomas asked about her bed, leading to her surprising concession: she was a ABCdarian.